The interstellar conference hall was enormous, stretching for kilometers in all directions. Holographic banners floated in midair, showing the symbols of hundreds of alien civilizations. The air hummed with strange languages, mechanical whirs, and the occasional scent of exotic alien perfumes. Humans were rare here, and most of the delegates watched them with curiosity, some with mild suspicion. Captain Alex Harper, a human diplomat and engineer, walked through the crowd nervously. He adjusted his tie for the third time and glanced at the schedule hovering in his hand. His role today was simple: help organize a cultural demonstration, make a good impression, and avoid making any diplomatic mistakes. Simple, he thought. Too bad simple rarely described his life. Alex had always been known for his ingenuity. Give him a broken starship, a malfunctioning AI, or a political problem, and he would find a solution. But social gatherings? Ceremonial customs? Interstellar etiquette? That was a different matter entirely. He sighed. The Queen of the Varelians, Lysara, would be arriving soon. She was legendary. Tall, elegant, with shimmering silver skin and eyes that glowed like twin stars, she carried herself with a confidence that made every other alien in the room seem nervous. Alex swallowed hard. He had to greet her properly or risk embarrassing himself, his species, and his planet. A soft chime echoed through the hall, signaling the arrival of the Virelian delegation. Alex turned toward the massive doors as a ripple of silence swept across the crowd. Queen Lysara entered with her court, moving like a flowing wave of authority. Delegates stepped aside instinctively. Alex could feel the weight of every gaze on him. He stepped forward. "Your Highness," he began, bowing awkwardly. He had practiced this in front of the mirror earlier, but nothing prepared him for the reality of facing the Queen. Lysara's glowing eyes scanned him for a moment. Then, she inclined her head slightly, a gesture that made the hairs on Alex's neck stand on end. He had read about this in the cultural brief. A head tilt of this sort could mean approval. Emboldened, Alex decided to attempt the traditional human greeting, a handshake. He extended his hand, smiling nervously. The Queen froze. Her eyes widened slightly. The room went quiet. Alex's smile faltered. Your Highness?" Lysara's lips curved into a slow, radiant smile. She raised one delicate hand, resting it against Alex's extended palm. Then she spoke in perfect common, though her voice carried a musical, otherworldly tone. "You propose." Alex blinked. "I what?" "You offer yourself as mate," Lysara said. "In your hands, you carry the promise. You ask for my hand." Alex's stomach dropped. Mate? Hand? Proposal? He had only wanted to bow politely and shake her hand. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. The room seemed to hold its breath. Lysara studied him for a long moment. Then, with a laugh that sounded like chimes ringing in space, she said, "I accept." Alex froze. "Excuse me?" "I accept your proposal," Lysara said again, smiling warmly. "It is a good choice." The crowd gasped. Humans, the underdogs of galactic politics, had just been accepted in an instant by one of the most powerful and intelligent species in the galaxy. And it had happened entirely by accident. Alex's mind raced. This cannot be happening. I wasn't, how do I undo this? Before he could say anything, Lysara placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. "Do not fear. This is not a mistake. You are intriguing. Unpredictable. I like that." Alex swallowed hard. "I thank you, Your Highness. But I think there is some misunderstanding." Lysara shook her head, still smiling. "No misunderstanding. The gesture you made, it is considered honorable, brave, and amusing. Many before you would have been rejected for clumsiness. You are honest." Alex's heart pounded. He wanted to explain, to apologize, to somehow fix this blunder. But every time he tried to speak, Lysara's calm, glowing presence left him dumbstruck. "Come," she said finally. "We will discuss this matter properly." Before Alex could protest, two Virillian attendants, tall and sleek with metallic limbs, stepped forward. They gently guided him toward the Queen's ship, docked just outside the conference hall. Alex stumbled a little, mumbling apologies to the shocked humans and aliens around him. The ship itself was a marvel. It was alive, yet mechanical, glowing with bioluminescent veins that pulsed like a heartbeat. The hull shifted subtly as if breathing. Alex's mouth fell open. He had repaired many starships in his life, but he had never seen anything like this. Lysara led him inside. The interior was vast, with corridors that shimmered and curved, walls that glowed softly, and floors that seemed to move underfoot. It was both intimidating and beautiful. "Please," Lysara said, gesturing to a seating area that looked like it had been grown, rather than built. "Sit. Relax." Alex sat cautiously, feeling very small in the presence of the Queen. He glanced around at the other attendants, who watched him silently. "Now," Lysara said, her voice smooth and commanding, "tell me, why did you offer yourself?" Alex blinked. I didn't. I mean, I was trying to show respect, but I must have misinterpreted the gesture." Lysara raised an elegant eyebrow. "Ah, so it was accidental." She smiled. "Interesting. Accidental actions can reveal true character." Alex rubbed his forehead. "I think I need a manual for your culture. Or maybe a translator for gestures. Or something." The Queen laughed softly. "You are funny, human. And brave. Accidents do not diminish courage." Alex swallowed, realizing that, somehow, he was surviving this moment. Somehow, despite being completely unprepared, he had not been rejected, threatened, or harmed. Lysara leaned forward slightly. "Humans, you are unpredictable. You do things that other species cannot. You act with spontaneity. And yet, sometimes, you are clever beyond reason. I find this fascinating." Alex's heart pounded. She actually likes me? The rest of the afternoon passed in a blur. Lysara explained some of the rituals and expectations of Virillian engagements. Alex listened, took notes, and occasionally stammered when he realized how complicated the customs were. Every question he asked seemed to amuse the Queen, who occasionally corrected him with patience and a subtle smile. Despite the tension, Alex began to notice something remarkable. Lysara was not just powerful, she was genuinely curious about him. She asked questions about Earth, human inventions, and even simple things like how humans cooked or entertained themselves. Alex answered as best he could. And for the first time, he realized that this accidental proposal might not be entirely a disaster. As the sun of the nearby star cast golden light across the ship's bioglass windows, Alex felt a strange sense of calm. He was terrified, yes, but he was also intrigued. He had accidentally stepped into a situation far beyond any human diplomat's experience, yet here he was, alive, talking, even laughing a little. Finally, Lysara stood. "You will stay aboard for a short while. We must ensure that your human customs are compatible with our traditions. But do not fear, Captain Harper. I think we will find a way to make this partnership work." Alex nodded, though his mind raced. "Partnership? Work? I'm just trying to survive this without causing a galactic incident." The Queen placed a gentle hand on his shoulder again. "Humans, perhaps this is only the beginning. You have something that others do not. And I like that." Alex smiled weakly. "Thank you, Your Highness. I'll do my best." Lysara inclined her head and turned, walking gracefully down the glowing corridor. Alex watched her go, feeling both awe and panic. He had no idea what the future held, but one thing was certain. His life, and perhaps the future of humanity's place in the galaxy, had just changed forever. As he followed the attendants deeper into the ship, Alex whispered to himself, I accidentally proposed to an alien queen, and she accepted. How do I even explain this to anyone? But deep inside, despite the fear and confusion, a small spark of excitement burned. Perhaps humans really could survive anywhere, even as accidental galactic diplomats. And perhaps, just perhaps, this accident could turn into something extraordinary. Captain Alex Harper sat in the center of the Queen's ship, staring at the soft glow of the walls. The corridors curved in ways his mind could barely comprehend, and strange bioluminescent patterns shifted like living art around him. He tried to focus on the briefing folder in his hand, but his thoughts kept drifting back to Queen Lasara. She wasn't just beautiful, she was intimidating, intelligent, and terrifyingly charming. Captain Harper. Alex jumped slightly. A tall Varelian attendant had appeared, moving almost silently. Yes, he said, straightening his jacket. You will begin your cultural orientation, the attendant said, his voice smooth and musical. The Queen wishes to see how you adapt to our ways. Alex nodded. Of course, I'll do my best. The attendant led him to a large chamber, circular and bright, with the soft golden glow of living walls. At the center, a holographic map of the galaxy floated in the air, showing Virelian space and the surrounding systems. Alex leaned forward, fascinated. He had studied star charts before, but this was like the galaxy was alive, breathing beneath his fingers. Queen Lasara arrived shortly after, her presence filling the room. Captain Harper, she said, today you will learn about Virelian customs, our traditions, and our expectations for those who join our court. Alex swallowed hard. Your Highness. Good, Lasara said, her eyes glimmering. We begin with ceremony. This is how Virelians greet one another. Honor achievements and show respect. Observe closely. She waved her hand, and several holographic figures appeared, demonstrating the gestures. Alex watched, trying to memorize every motion, the tilt of the head, the placement of the hands, the subtle curves of the body. Each gesture had meaning, and meaning mattered deeply in Virelian society. Alex tried to mimic the gestures. He stumbled at first, knocking into a glowing console. Lasara watched him carefully, her lips curved in a small, amused smile. You are awkward, but your effort is sincere, she said. Alex blushed. I think I'm improving. You are, she said, her voice gentle. But sincerity alone is not enough. Precision is important. Attention to detail matters, in ways humans sometimes overlook. Alex nodded. I'll try harder. The day passed with lessons in etiquette, diplomacy, and the subtle art of Virelian communication. Alex learned that even the smallest gesture could change the meaning of a conversation. One wrong glance could insult a noble, and one misstep in posture could ruin negotiations. He began to realize that humans were blunt by comparison. Yet, he also noticed something remarkable. Lasara valued creativity and unpredictability. Where other aliens might be offended by mistakes, she often smiled, curious to see how he would adapt. You humans are strange, Lasara said later, when they walked through a corridor lined with living trees. You act first, think later. And yet, you find solutions in ways we never imagine. Alex laughed nervously. That's one way to put it. She studied him, tilting her head. I like this quality. It is refreshing and perhaps useful. Alex swallowed. Useful? You mean I might be able to help in your empire? Lasara smiled. Perhaps. The neighboring systems watch us closely. They are cautious of our influence. But humans, you are clever, bold, unpredictable. You may offer advantages we have not yet considered. Alex felt a surge of pride. Despite the accidental proposal, he was starting to feel that he had a place here. Maybe humans weren't just tolerated, they could matter. Just then, an alarm sounded throughout the ship. Red lights pulsed faintly along the walls. Alex's heart jumped. "What is happening?" he asked, trying to hide his panic. Lysara's expression remained calm, but her eyes narrowed. "A diplomatic alert. A neighboring empire, one that fears our expansion, has issued a warning. They see the human presence as a threat. They question whether we can be trusted." Alex's stomach sank. "Threat? Me? You?" "In part," Lysara said. "Your species is unknown to them. They cannot predict your behavior. That makes them cautious." Alex tried to process this. "So, they might attack? Perhaps," Lysara said. "Or they may test us. You must understand, Captain Harper, that in space, perception often matters more than reality." Alex nodded slowly. "So, what do we do?" "We prepare," Lysara said. "We show them that unpredictability can be controlled. We demonstrate that humans and Virelians can work together." Over the next few hours, Alex assisted Lysara's advisors in reviewing diplomatic protocols. He suggested unconventional approaches, using humor to diffuse tension, proposing open communication channels rather than strict formal declarations, and leveraging human creativity in problem-solving. The Virelians were skeptical at first, but Lysara encouraged them to listen. "You see," she said quietly to Alex, "they doubt, but they also learn. That is the human way." Alex felt a small smile. For the first time, he wasn't just a guest or an accidental suitor, he was contributing, making a real difference. Later, Lysara took him to a garden chamber, filled with glowing plants and soft, fragrant air. "You must also learn about Virelian leisure," she said. "Our culture values balance. Strategy and diplomacy are important, but so is harmony." Alex wandered among the plants, marveling at the beauty. "It's amazing. I've never seen anything like this." "You see," Lysara said, stepping beside him, "we are not only warriors or diplomats. We are caretakers, thinkers, and artists. Humans often focus on survival, yet you create ingenuity. That is admirable." Alex felt his chest swell with pride. "Thank you, Your Highness. I think I understand why you accepted me." Lysara tilted her head. "Because you are human. Because you are brave, honest, and adaptable. And because you do not pretend to be what you are not. Many before you tried, and many failed. You—" Alex swallowed, feeling both nervous and honored. He realized that their accidental engagement might not have been a mistake at all. Perhaps this was the start of something meaningful, not just personally, but politically. Their conversation was interrupted by another alert. This time, it was a message from the Virelian fleet near the border. They had detected unusual activity from the neighboring empire, a fleet moving close to disputed space. Tensions were rising. Lysara's eyes narrowed. "This is what I feared. They are testing us. We must show strength, but also wisdom." Alex felt a surge of determination. "Then let me help. Let me show them what humans can do." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Very well. You will accompany me to the frontier. You will observe, advise, and participate. Your perspective may be valuable." Alex's heart raced. "Me? On the frontier? You are already a part of this now," Lysara said. "Do not fear. Humans adapt. I have seen it. You may surprise even yourself." The next few days passed in a whirlwind. Alex trained in Virelian etiquette, observed fleet strategies, and learned the intricacies of alien politics. He stumbled, made mistakes, and occasionally said things that confused the court. Yet each time, Lysara smiled, guiding him patiently, correcting him with a soft touch or a quiet word. Through it all, Alex began to notice something more profound. Humans had something unique in the galaxy. They could think outside rigid rules, improvise solutions, and act courageously when others hesitated. Lysara seemed to recognize this, treating him not just as an accidental fiancé, but as a valued ally. Finally, one evening, as they looked out at the stars from the ship's observation deck, Alex turned to the Queen. I never imagined my life would come to this. Engaged to an alien queen, learning a culture I barely understand, and preparing for potential conflict with an empire that already fears me. Lysara's silver eyes glimmered. And yet, you are here. You adapt, you learn, and you persist. That is why I accepted you, not out of obligation, but because you are human. And humans, Captain Harper, have a way of changing the galaxy. Alex felt a surge of pride and hope. He realized that despite the danger, despite the confusion, he had a purpose here. He wasn't just surviving. He was contributing. And maybe, just maybe, he could make a difference. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, Alex whispered to himself, "Humans, we can do this." Somehow, and for the first time since the accidental proposal, he believed it. The frontier system was quiet, but the silence was tense. Stars glimmered faintly through the observation deck of Queen Lysara's ship, and Alex Harper felt a mixture of awe and anxiety. This was the edge of Virelian space, a region where law was fragile and danger could appear without warning. Lysara stood beside him, calm and composed, her silver skin shimmering softly in the ambient light. "Captain Harper," she said, "this is where our diplomacy meets reality. The neighboring empire has moved forces into contested space. They wish to test us, to see if we are weak." Alex swallowed hard. "And they'll be watching me too?" "Yes," Lysara said simply. "They fear the unknown. Humans are unknown. Your presence makes them uneasy. That is, useful." Alex felt a surge of pride, tempered by nerves. "I hope I don't mess this up." The ship moved gracefully through the void, faster than any human vessel Alex had ever seen. The corridors seemed to pulse with life, and every console displayed maps, fleet movements, and alien symbols he struggled to read. Yet as they approached the contested sector, Alex realized that his human intuition, his ability to think creatively under pressure, might make a difference. The first sign of trouble came as they neared a dense asteroid field near the border. Scouts reported multiple ships from the neighboring empire, lurking and monitoring. Their formation was tight, defensive, and intentionally provocative. "Captain Harper," Lysara said, "we must respond. Show them that unpredictability does not equal weakness." Alex nodded. "I have an idea, but it's unconventional." Lysara raised a silver eyebrow. "That may be exactly what is needed." Alex quickly outlined a plan. Using a combination of human deception techniques and Virelian technology, he suggested a maneuver that would make their fleet appear stronger than it actually was while hiding their real movements. The strategy relied on timing, improvisation, and the willingness to take calculated risks. The Virelian advisors murmured among themselves. "It is untested," one said. "Exactly," Alex replied. "Unpredictable, but smart. It might just work." Lysara smiled. "Then let us proceed. Captain, you will lead the implementation." For the next few hours, Alex directed fleet movements alongside Virelian officers. He issued commands quickly, adjusting in real time to unexpected maneuvers from the neighboring empire. His heart raced, but his confidence grew as he saw the results. The enemy was confused, misinterpreting the human-led maneuvers as a larger, more experienced force. "Your instincts are remarkable," Lysara said quietly as she watched Alex on the tactical console. "You think differently than any Virelian I have met." Alex smiled nervously. "I guess that's what humans do. We improvise." The neighboring empire's ships tried to flank them, but Alex anticipated their movements and guided the Virelian fleet into defensive positions that neutralized the threat. Every decision he made combined logic, creativity, and a little bit of daring luck. At one point, a sudden attack breached the outer perimeter. A small enemy vessel slipped past sensors and aimed directly for Lysara's flagship. Alex reacted instinctively, rerouting the ship's shields and deploying a countermeasure that forced the enemy to retreat. Lysara's eyes widened slightly. "Impressive, Captain Harper. You saved the flagship." Alex felt his chest swell. "I just reacted. I didn't want anything to happen to you." The Queen's gaze softened. "And yet, your actions show courage, foresight, and loyalty. Traits worthy of a leader. And perhaps more." Alex felt heat rush to his face. He was not used to praise from anyone, let alone the most powerful ruler in this part of the galaxy. Yet he also realized that their teamwork was more than just survival, it was becoming genuine collaboration. Humans and Varelians working together, side by side, could overcome challenges that neither could face alone. After the immediate threat passed, Lysara convened a meeting with her advisors and Alex. "Captain Harper," she said, "the neighboring empire will test us again. They are cautious, but they respect cleverness. Your human perspective, it may tip the balance." Alex listened carefully, suggesting unconventional solutions, creating false fleets with holographic decoys, using asteroid cover to hide movements, and even leveraging psychological tactics to confuse enemy commanders. Each suggestion was risky, but each also reflected a human willingness to act boldly when rules were unclear. Lysara nodded at every point. "Your ideas are unusual, but they work. That is why I accepted your proposal. Not only because of your honesty, but because humans think differently. They adapt. They survive." Alex felt a mixture of pride and responsibility. He realized that this accidental engagement was no longer just a personal embarrassment. It had become a partnership with real consequences for the galaxy. The following day, they were summoned to the front lines. Scouts reported that the neighboring empire was concentrating forces near a mining colony, an area rich in rare resources and strategically important. Diplomacy alone might not prevent conflict. Presence and strength were required. Alex accompanied Lysara in her flagship, observing the alien fleet formations. "Captain Harper," she said, "we must show both strength and restraint. We cannot strike first, but we must be ready for any move." Alex nodded. "Understood. I'll help coordinate our response." As they approached the sector, an enemy fleet appeared, sleek and dark, with weapons glinting. Tension filled the bridge. Every officer held their breath, waiting for the first sign of aggression. Alex took a deep breath and issued commands to reposition their fleets subtly, creating the illusion of overwhelming numbers. He combined Varelian precision with human improvisation, adjusting in real time to enemy maneuvers. The enemy commander misinterpreted their movements, assuming the Varelians had reinforcements hidden nearby. The fleet hesitated, then withdrew slightly, buying time. "You humans," Lysara said quietly, "you are unpredictable in the best way." Alex swallowed, feeling both fear and pride. "I just do what makes sense." Hours passed with careful maneuvers, negotiations via communication channels, and calculated risks. Finally, the enemy commander sent a message. They would withdraw for now, but tensions remained high. Lysara turned to Alex, her silver eyes glowing. "Captain Harper, you have done more than survive this test. You have contributed to a peace that might have been impossible otherwise. You have earned respect here." Alex felt a rush of relief and pride. "Thank you, Your Highness. I just hope we can keep it that way." Lysara smiled. "We will, because humans and Varelians together are stronger than any single species alone." As the flagship moved away from the contested zone, Alex reflected on the past few days. He had faced danger, learned a new culture, and discovered that humans could make a difference even among advanced civilizations. His accidental proposal had led him here, but perhaps it had also been the start of something greater. Later, Lysara brought him to a quiet observation deck overlooking the stars. "Captain Harper," she said, "you acted with courage, intelligence, and honesty. These are rare qualities. Many before you would have failed. Many humans might have too. But you succeeded. Alex smiled awkwardly. I just tried my best. I didn't want to let anyone down. And yet, Lasara said, her voice softening, you have inspired me. You have shown that humans are capable of more than we imagined. Perhaps we will achieve much together. Alex felt his heart race. He realized that this partnership was no longer accidental. In effect, it was intentional, in purpose. Humans and Virelians had faced a test, and together they had succeeded. As they watched the stars, Alex thought about the future. There would be more challenges, more political tension, and perhaps even real battles. But he also knew that with Lasara by his side, and with the ingenuity and bravery of humanity, they could face anything. For the first time since the accidental proposal, Alex felt hope not just for himself, but for humanity's place in the galaxy. He had learned that humans were more than adaptable. They could inspire, protect, and even lead in ways that alien civilizations might never expect. And as the Queen stood beside him, silent and radiant, he realized that this partnership, once accidental, might become one of the most important alliances in galactic history. The stars ahead were calm, yet the tension aboard Queen Lasara's flagship was palpable. Captain Alex Harper stood beside her on the bridge, studying the holographic maps of the contested sector. The neighboring empire had amassed a fleet near the resource-rich systems, and diplomacy alone might not keep the peace. Captain Harper, Lasara said, her silver eyes glinting, this is the moment that will define our alliance. You will guide our actions alongside me. Together, humans and Virelians must demonstrate unity, strength, and intelligence. Alex nodded, his stomach tight with anticipation. Understood, Your Highness. I'll do everything I can. Lasara inclined her head. Good. Remember, unpredictability can be our advantage. But do not act recklessly. The enemy fleet emerged from hyperspace, a dark cloud of sleek warships. Their weapons glimmered like frozen lightning. Every Virelian officer held their breath. The humans aboard the flagship were tense, too, unaccustomed to being at the heart of interstellar diplomacy and military strategy simultaneously. Alex took a deep breath. We need to show them our strength, but also that we can outthink them. He tapped a few controls, rerouting sensors and activating decoy drones. If they think we are stronger than we are, they may hesitate. Lasara watched closely. Your strategy is bold, but it may succeed. Implement it. As the flagship moved into position, Alex guided the drones in precise, deceptive patterns. The holographic displays showed multiple ghost fleets surrounding the enemy. Their sensors picked up the false signals, and the enemy fleet faltered, uncertain of the Virelians' actual strength. You humans, Lasara murmured. Your ideas continue to impress. Alex felt a surge of pride. Thank you, Your Highness. But it's not just me, we're working together. That's what makes it possible. Minutes later, an enemy commander sent a hailing message. Virelians, we recognize your fleet's strength. We will not engage in conflict at this time. Withdraw or face consequences. Lasara nodded. Captain Harper, you have helped prevent war today. Your ingenuity has saved countless lives. Alex felt a rush of relief and accomplishment. He realized that humans, even though new to interstellar politics, could make a difference. Their creativity, courage, and unpredictability could complement the precision and experience of advanced alien civilizations. Later, Lasara called a meeting with her council, including Alex. This alliance, she said, has shown that unity between humans and Virelians is possible. Captain Harper's actions prove that humans bring strengths that even we could not anticipate. Alex, humbled, spoke carefully. I only did what humans do best. We adapt. We find solutions. And we care about people, our friends and allies. The council members exchanged glances, some nodding in approval. Lysara's advisors began to see the value of humans not just as allies but as contributors, thinkers, and problem solvers. That evening, Alex stood on the observation deck with Lysara. The stars stretched endlessly, peaceful yet full of possibility. "Your Highness," Alex said quietly, "I never expected any of this. I was nervous, unprepared, and somehow, I ended up here, making a real difference." Lysara smiled, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. "And yet, you did. Humans are remarkable. You survive, adapt, and even inspire. I accepted your proposal not out of ceremony, but because I sensed your potential. Today, you proved it." Alex felt warmth in his chest. I'm honored. More than I can say." "You should be," Lysara said. "This partnership is not just between us personally. It is a symbol of what humans and Virelians can achieve together. Your people have a place in this galaxy, Captain Harper. And it begins now." Alex looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of responsibility and possibility. He realized that their accidental engagement had evolved into something greater. A genuine partnership, a bridge between species, and a chance to shape the future. Days later, the Virelian court held a formal ceremony to honor the Human-Virelian alliance. Delegates from multiple species attended, witnessing a unique event. The Queen publicly recognizing Captain Harper as her partner, a symbol of unity and cooperation. Alex stood beside Lysara, nervous but composed. The ceremony was filled with music, holographic displays, and rituals that combined human and Virelian traditions. He stumbled a few times but laughed with Lysara's gentle guidance. The crowd smiled, some applauded, and the event became a historic moment for interstellar relations. After the ceremony, Lysara took Alex to a quiet terrace aboard her ship. "Captain Harper," she said softly, "you have shown courage, intelligence, and honesty. These qualities make humans exceptional. You have my trust, my respect, and my admiration." Alex's heart raced. I never imagined I could mean so much. To you, to your people." Lysara tilted her head, her gaze gentle. "You underestimated yourself. But now, humans and Virelians will move forward together. And you, Captain Harper, will be remembered as the human who changed the course of history." Alex felt a profound sense of accomplishment. He realized that his accidental proposal had become a catalyst for something extraordinary. Humans had proven they could belong among advanced civilizations, and he had personally helped build that bridge. As the stars gleamed around them, Alex and Lysara looked toward the future together. Challenges would come, tensions would rise, but with trust, intelligence, and courage, they could face anything. Alex whispered to himself, smiling. "Humans, we really can do this." Lysara placed her hand on his. "Yes, Captain Harper. Together, we can change the galaxy." And with that, humanity's place among the stars was no longer uncertain, it was established.